Curling now enters the Sports Weekend spotlight.
And exhale.
Wow, what a dramatic day already.
Well, and thank goodness for the women's game, because that was dramatic. Not in the men's game.
Well, I would say it was pretty dramatic that Jacobs gets 2 fours.
Shocking?
And shocking against Cooey. You're just not used to seeing that. And if you look at the statistics of the men's game, you're still wondering, how did it happen?
Well, maybe the scores had something
They were
to do
generous.
with...
They might have been generous. But I actually think Cooey's team was like 92% and Jacobs was 91. But boy, were they on fire.
And the reality of that game, of course, Brad Jacobs into the Olympic
and in the
trials
zone
final and in the zone of Battle of the Brads. We'll get into all of that, but wrong side of the inch. And Jacobs made Cooey pay in the biggest way today.
With a few magical shots.
In the women's game, that tiebreaker, heart-stopping stuff call.
Heart-stopping stuff because it came down to the 10th end, and you were kind of thinking, wow, this is going to be McCarville's to win. No, wait. She missed a hit. And
no, you take it.
Einerson has a draw for the deuce for the win. And it was almost like a little bit of a lag. She was heavy, yes. Back line almost. And they sweepers could have yelled we're heavy, we need to play the old plan B or C, call it whatever you want. But it just sailed through the house, and the look on Carrie's face is one we've seen before. I believe the Moose Jaw
Scotties when she was heavy, and that's the parallel all the fans are drawing. And hello to all the curling fans watching. Let us know where you're tuning in from. But McCarville
with a beautiful double takeout and a hard shot too. She made it look easy the way she did it, but that was a tough shot for the win. So amazing performance from McCarville, as people had written her off after not being at the Scotties last year in the bubble.
So we have some highlights of that men's semifinal because of course the paparazzi is taking photos of us. We do love it. But that men's final, it was short and sweet, over in 6. Here's how it looked.
Today, tiebreakers and semifinals of this year's Tim Hortons Curling Trials.
That one first.
And it'll come up.
And it comes up.
Yep.
So there's a little bit of room for error here.
Right now it is Cooey sitting shot rock, center line. Back 4, final stone after 2 blanks. Jacobs here in 3. Brian Hart. Curl up, come across, and it is count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jacobs here in the 3rd.
Wow, open spin. This could be 5-0.
Yep, 4. Got it, stuffed it, roll it, and sit down.
I think the easier shot's this one, Cheryl.
Then half.
It goes, hopefully for his sake, it goes jam, jam.
Final stone. Right now it is Cooey sitting the 1. Is it a chance here for more multiple points? Already scored a 4. Bang, come across. Yes, it is. Count them up again. 4 more. And it'll be a final of Guju and Jacobs. Kevin Cooey will shake after just 6. He picks up a late 2.
On fire, 100% and hits at that point.
And didn't Cooey's facial expression tell the entire story of today?
I've walked a mile in his shoes in that situation where you're just thinking, how did it even happen? Like, could we rewind and start over? Wow. Is this a dream? Like when you're in quicksand. It was a nightmare. Like the one I had last night. But anyhow, here's skipper Brad Jacobs. You can tell how loose he is if you listen to some of the things.
Well, you had a lot of fun with him, Paul.
Not too much fun, but a little.
An awesome interview. Take a look at this.
Brad, in your wildest imaginations before the game, could you have pictured being up 8-1 after 5 minutes?
Yeah, no, that was a huge surprise. But what can I say? We put a lot of rocks in great spots. Brian, EJ, and Mark were phenomenal in front of me this game, like they have been all week. And we took advantage of a couple opportunities that were handed to us. So big win. I think one of the keys to our performance today was we came out at noon and we had a really good practice. It was almost like hitting the driving range before going out for your final round, so to speak. So we hit the ice loose. Everybody's really just enjoying the experience. We're doing everything we can to just stay grounded, make one shot at a time, and it's going well.
How do you stay loose when the next big game in the Battle of the Brads round 2 is for the Olympic trip?
Yeah, we're just trying to fight to get into the Champions Cup at the end of the year. That's really what we're fighting for. We're not in that spiel yet, so it'd be nice to win this one and get into the Champions Cup.
But really?
Yeah, lots on the line. We all know that. And hey, you know what I said to the guys before the game started? There's no place we'd rather be. There's nothing else we would rather be doing than just out here, enjoying the moment, having fun, making lots of curling shots, and really just fighting and battling for every inch for one another.
Well, here's hoping you get to the Champions Cup.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Wow, you guys are having a lot of fun. We bring in Marc Kennedy. Marc, you've got Champions Cup on your mind, do you? But there's a big game tomorrow before that. Great to see you. Congratulations on making it into another Olympic trials final. How are you feeling right now, Marc?
I'm good. Thank you, guys. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Thanks for having me on that curling show. It's my first time. I've officially made it. I've made it in the curling world. I'm on the show.
Yippee! And we'll send you a Beijing Olympic pin or something like that. But how sweet is this for you as you try to get to your third Olympic Games? We saw you in Korea. We saw the incredible performance in 2010 when you were with Kevin Martin. Here you go again. And you came out of retirement really to join Brad and the boys.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what can I say? How lucky have I been in my curling career to have these opportunities and to play with the teammates that I've had the chance to play with and the experiences I've had. Honestly, everything at this point is just bonus and gravy. And, maybe that's one of the reasons that I feel I can play pretty loose out there and relaxed. And, I'm not holding the broom too tight, because at the end of the day, if I don't win another one, I'm okay with that. And I'm just really enjoying being out there with the guys and, watching their performances this week. Like, Ryan and EJ and Brad have just been absolute machines, and I've just kind of been along for the ride and enjoying every minute of it. So it's been a lot of fun. I certainly don't think we feel very nervous. We just feel grateful for the opportunity again.
Don't you love his humility? He's so modest,
Always
like
so
the
humble.
best third going. And
yeah,
just along for the ride.
Yeah, just along for the ride. I'm sure you played a bit of a role in all of this, Marc, and that actually leads me to my next question. A third different team that you're one win away from going to the Olympics. How do you fit in? How do you find your role and mesh so well in each one of these teams? Because it just seems from an onlooker's perspective that you do it so flawlessly.
Yeah, well, thanks. I appreciate that. I think, it's probably one of the things I've been the most proud of is the ability to have played with great players and able to adapt to their personalities based on what they needed at certain times. And but it's been pretty easy. Like, not only have these people, Kevin Martin, John Morris, Kevin Cooey, Ben Hebert, they're not just great curlers. They're great people, and it's been easy to do. So, this team, they're wonderful people. They're wonderful curlers. They gave me an opportunity to just come in and be myself, and not do too much, which I think last year when we struggled a bit in the bubble, I think that was kind of the case, was I was trying to do too much. I was trying to fix things. I was trying to do this and that with strategy. And, it was EJ that just kind of said, hey man, just be yourself. You don't have to do too much. And it kind of allowed me to take a step back and just watch what these guys are capable of when they get the momentum going. And I've been able to just kind of take a step back and make shots and let the rest take care of itself.
Nice. We've got the juniors coming up in a little bit, and the ones that won to go to the World Juniors, and that's such a great advice for them to hear as well. Where are you going? You're in the car. What's up for tonight?
I apologize. I'm in a car. The boys are inside and Earl's eating right now.
Yeah.
It was a little bit too loud, so I'm in the cold car.
Nice.
Trying to keep the lights on.
Okay.
So hopefully you can still see me, but my light just burnt out in the car. So
Okay. Well, we want you to get into Earl's and have some food and some relaxation and be with the boys.
No kidding.
Be ready for the Battle of the Brads. Round 2 tomorrow. What did you learn from the first round 1? I mean, there's not much to separate the two teams.
Well, here's what I've learned about that team. They are very, very, very good. And I've said for a while the Brad Gushue team is the best team at positioning rocks. You know, they go about it like business-like, and they're so good. You absolutely have to be at your best. So we'll have to come out and make a ton of shots and hopefully get some momentum. But like I said to you guys earlier today, whoever wins this game tomorrow is going to be a wonderful representative for Canada. And just looking forward to getting out there and trying to make some shots.
We're looking forward to watching it. And Marc, get in there and eat. Thank you so much for taking the time. And don't forget, you've really made it. You're on that curling show.
Yeah, you have made it, Marc. Awesome to see you.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend, okay? Take care.
Oh, yeah, thank you. We will.
Thank you, Marc.
And
Good luck tomorrow.
I feel like I could bring in a whiteboard now.
You could bring a whiteboard.
Because he talked about how
this
great
is the longest you've
they're
taken
playing.
to bring a whiteboard in. Take
well,
a look
because
at
there's
these
no
stats.
schedule to tell you, but it's so easy. The stats, if you can see it, in the Battle of the Brads. Brad Jacobs has been the top skip all week at 92% versus Brad Gushue at 89%. That's not a big difference. It's not a big difference between the Battle of the Marks at third, 92% for Marc Kennedy versus Mark, what's his name? Nichols, 89%. And then at seconds, EJ's at 89, Brett's at 90, so that's equal. Ryan 94 and Jeff at 89%. So you can see
not a lot between these two teams.
Yeah, not a lot at all. But they're both so great.
That was one of your better whiteboards.
Well, thank you. I'm working at it.
Hey, you know what? Just a quick word on Marc Kennedy. I think the game is better off. The fans are better off when he's on the ice. And you saw it in that interview. Wonderful perspective.
Well, you know, the one thing interviewing them all week, the perspective of Gushue's team and Jacob's team is super equal.
The mentality.
And the mentality is pretty much the same. All they're going to do, they're going to stay loose. They're going to play their best. They're going to stay focused. They're going to stay calm, like all the right things. There's no drama, but we got to win this or else. There's no tension, not an ounce.
But to that point, what I will say is they're playing with house money because they're both Olympic champions. And when you remove the pressure of that, you play a little freer.
You know what? I almost don't buy that. I think both of them really want to get back to the Olympic Games. I do.
Well, they keep telling themselves that.
And I think it's why Marc came back from retirement. And I think it's made Gushue so focused this year.
Yeah,
I might be dreaming.
Now, hold on. Wait a second. On the other side of that, the other side of that, though, you lose a game. And the nice thing we saw today from Cooey with Morris and Hebert, when they talked about after that loss, we had a chance to speak to them. And they spoke about what it meant to lose that game. They were also in an okay mindset, devastated, obviously.
Because they know that those top three teams on the men's side, any one of them will be great reps for Canada at the Olympics.
Let's take a look.
A little unfortunate, but we put a few rocks today and did exactly what we didn't want to do, which was set up these guys to hit all game, and that's what they did. So kudos to them. They outplayed us, and I think it'll be a great final, and it looks like we're going to have a great rep for the Olympics regardless of who wins that final.
Kind of fall asleep against those guys. You know, they played pretty good all week and outplayed us today. Obviously, they brought their A game, we brought our C game. I would have liked to see what happened if we would have, played our best and given them a good fight, but a little bit of a laydown by us, unfortunately. So it sucks because we had a good week. We played pretty good, but disappointing. But we got two good teams in the final, and we're always looking to send a good rep here from Canada. And certainly Gushue and Jacobs or Cooey, all of us would have put a good fight on in China. So one of the two teams is going to have a good chance, I think.
Gracious, Ben Hebert and John Morris.
Well, they're disappointed without a doubt. Sure. I mean, and again, that speaks to how much they wanted to be the Olympic. Yeah. You could see the disappointment on their face. You could see that look on the ice of disbelief when it was the 2-4.
I think we were all stunned inside the SaskTel Center earlier today. We were also stunned when we saw what unfolded in the 8th end, and then Krista McCarville to make a beauty in the extra end. I believe we have that highlight.
We do.
Colin.
Let's
take a look.
Here we go.
Final score. And right now it is a stolen point. Carrie Anderson, Krista McCarville out of Thunder Bay. Here comes that guard again. Called off. Get it by there first now. What are you going to get? Bang! Stuff it. Oh, there'll be a win. She made the double, held the shooter. McCarville is on to the semifinals.
Well done. Whoa, that was after the end before where Carrie missed her draw for the win.
And Krista missed a shot,
a
hit before that.
Yeah.
So, but she made it when it counts, and everything seems to be coming up Northern Ontario today. Jacobs, McCarville.
And we have our champions going to the World Junior. Bravo for you guys in Sweden.
Northern Ontario, the women's team. Look at them. Look at the smiles. Tell the story right there. We're going to come to the team in a second, but we have some highlights from a spectacular day here at the Granite Curling Club. Northern Ontario women winning, Nova Scotia men winning. We're going to get to that as well. Take a look.
And now, I know, so did I. That's so nice. And now they're off to the World Juniors in March in Sweden. Okay, Isabella, by the way, Isabella Ladder-Surts from Nova Scotia. But let's start with you and what did it mean to win this? And then just go right through the crowd and tell us what this meant. Go ahead, you start.
Well, I mean, it's just an amazing opportunity. Like, I've been dreaming about this for a long time. So it's amazing just to be here. And I feel, very grateful.
Yeah, I think we're all really excited. Been dreaming of this day for a long time. It's really exciting for all of us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely a check on the bucket list for this one.
And it's the second time you've worn Team Canada colors too.
Yes, and it still feels just as amazing. So
the more the merrier.
Yeah.
I say. The more the merrier. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't really have a lot of words for it yet, but I'm just so glad that everything's kind of clicked together for us, and I'm very happy that I moved to play with them.
Yeah, I think I agree with Katie on this, that I don't really have words for it right now. It's just like I'm in shock. It's unbelievable.
Coach, what makes this team work so well together?
Well, they're four very good curlers, very good shot makers, but their strength is the five of them together is the strength of this team. The cohesiveness of this team, the way they work together, that's their strength.
Isabel, what was the turning point of the game?
That's a great question.
Okay, you can't figure that out yet.
Honestly, I would say right at the start, I felt very calm, just coming into it. And I felt like, we all were mentally prepared to go in. So I think it was just kind of a steady pace rather than just some random turning point. I think the three really helped for motivation that we got. But other than that, it was a very steady pace.
I joked about the fact that everything is coming up Northern Ontario
today. To be that way. Absolutely. I wish I had my moose call that I made.
You should have your moose call here. But can you guys just talk about the pride? Because my Twitter feed is lighting up about it today. Can you talk about the pride of coming from Northern Ontario, from Sudbury,
and Nova Scotia?
And Nova Scotia. Please, this is their moment.
Yeah.
Coming from Northern Ontario and representing that region so well.
I think the most amazing part of it all is bringing everyone to Northern Ontario, because our team is a little mismatched, and we brought everyone into Northern Ontario, a smaller town, and it was kind of crazy to have everyone come in and gel together like that. So I think that's probably the best part.
And I think what that shows, though, is the role of small towns and areas, whether it's in Nova Scotia or Saskatchewan, yes, it shows that the coaches that make an impact in developing talent like you guys. It's so nice to see.
What happens now? What happens?
Well, they go to the World Junior Championships in Sweden.
Okay.
And you're also going to the Continental Cup, I think, right?
Yeah.
Very
We're
nice.
pretty excited about it.
And tell me, who's going to win the women's now?
Oh my goodness.
We're hoping for rooting for a Fleury McCarville final.
You would like that Northern Ontario showdown?
Yes.
Awesome. Bravo to you guys.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
it's well done. Well done.
Thank you guys.
So nice. So nice.
Awesome to have you all on the show. Good luck at the World Championship wearing those Canadian colors.
We're going to talk to the men in a second. But we've been asking the teams at the Olympic trials their favorite Olympic memories.
Yeah.
And we've got the Northern Ontario flavor in this, the Herndon brothers and Brad Jacobs. Here they are.
Obviously, EJ and I are brothers. Brad's your cousin. So special moment winning an Olympic gold medal with family. Ryan Fry at the time considered him family, still is family to us. So I say that winning, just having that family dynamic, and that's definitely my favorite memory of the gold medal.
Yeah, I mean, other than winning and doing it with Ryan, Brad, and Ryan, I think what's pretty cool is we actually got to go watch the Canadian women's hockey team gold medal game.
We were pretty disappointed. The U.S. was celebrating, looked like they were going to win, but our Canadian girls just hung in there, clawed back, scored a couple goals to tie the game, and scored that game winner in overtime, and we were just going nuts.
Brad, I think, at one moment thought maybe he couldn't play the next day. He high-fived us so hard, his head was hurting. So it was so much fun, just that atmosphere and the bond that you have with the other athletes. That's something you'll never forget.
It was just so exciting and an incredible moment to be a part of.
A good reminder of what's at stake.
A lot. That's well, often the hard thing in this sport is to the victor go the spoils, right? And then the runner-up. So I've been runner-up a lot in my life, and it's not a fun position to be in. But you learn a lot of lessons that way.
There's been a lot of winning for Nova Scotia for you.
Yeah. Oh, and now the
don't pretend you don't
Canadian
know.
junior representative to go to the World Juniors in Sweden, Team Nova Scotia.
I knew it.
How'd I do with that?
You are
Congratulations, guys. Owen Purcell, introduce the team.
My name's Owen Purcell, and I'm the skip of Team Nova Scotia. Our lead is Scott Weigel. Our second is Adam McEachran. Our third is Joel Kratz. And our alternate is Scott Mitchell.
Was the key to the win sweeping our rock yesterday when we were trying to duplicate the Sandra Schmirler?
It must have been.
All right, tell us what the key to the win today was, because you were playing Newfoundland and Labrador, and that game we were scoreboard watching, and it was making me sweat. And not a lot makes me sweat.
I think they might have been sweating too, guys. What was it like from your perspective?
Definitely. We're fortunate to have the hammer in the first end. We think we're a very good team, and our hammer efficiency is pretty good. So we're happy having that head-to-head win going into that first end to get the hammer, and then obviously scored a big 3 in that first end. Very good next end with a force, and then once again got a 4 right back. So fortunately had a big lead, and it was just a matter of trying to do some scoreboard management and make sure we could maintain that for the entirety of the game.
Are you going to the Olympic trial game tonight, or do you see it tomorrow? When does that happen?
We are going tonight, and we are staying an extra day to catch the finals tomorrow as well.
Nice. I think you get a trip to the Continental Cup too. How important is it to watch these guys play when you guys are the next generation coming up?
Well, it's really important to get to see everything that all the top teams are doing, and to be able to refine your game off of some of the stuff that you can see on TV. So.
We saw in the highlight video the Canadian flag draped around the team.
Who had it? Who had the? I think. Did you have it?
I think hey, you all wanted to take turns with that Canadian flag, and I don't blame you. But what does it mean to be carrying that flag? It's what every Canadian curler dreams of. Now you get to do it on the biggest junior stage in the world.
Yeah, I'm sure I speak for all the guys when I say it's just honestly a dream come true. I can't really put it into words. Like, it's an honor to go represent the country. We're going to go and play our best and try our hardest, and hopefully we come home with the gold medal, and that's all you can really ask for. But yeah, just honestly a dream come true. Going over to Sweden is going to be like a different experience too, curling in Europe, and yeah, I don't have Scott. You want to add anything? I don't like it's.
No, I still really haven't come to terms with it yet. Like you said, it's a dream come true, and it means the world to us to be able to go and represent Canada.
Well, when that box of Team Canada clothes comes, I can tell you right now, you take your jersey out and you see that maple leaf and your name on the back, and it gives you shivers. So well done. Can you hold up that medal, Owen, just so that Jen can get a great shot of the medal? And so proud of you guys. You've done Nova Scotia. You know what? When you come, and it was nice to see an All-Atlantic Canadian final. Nice to know there's so much talent, partly inspired by Brad Gushu and his success. Pretty awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well done.
Well done, gentlemen. You should be so proud. You played really great this week, and we're wishing you all the best over in Sweden. And Colleen and I want that first interview at the Briars and the
when
Olympics
they win
down the road.
Yeah,
all right.
We can see that because that seems to be what happens with the junior champs.
It is. It is a pipeline. It is a pipeline.
Just
So congratulations.
Thank you.
drive that truck right through it. But you know, in fairness, we were talking about how, you know, to the victors go the spoils, and when you lose, you realize it's tough. And it was so nice. Yeah. The Alberta women's team lost in the final to Northern Ontario, and Colin Hodgson was here watching the game, and he could see that they were devastated, as you would be. As every team that loses is pretty heartbroken. I got to tell you, we all play for the moment. We don't play to lose. We all want to win. And Colin took the time to tell them this is just the start of your career.
Beautiful moment.
It's really hard at the time. It's going to be hard for a while. You're going to think about this a lot. But this isn't the end for any of you guys. There's so much more afterwards. And once you get to a certain point, whether it's curling or something else, you're going to accomplish it. You guys fought hard. You had an amazing week. And I'm emotional too watching that, because I know how hard this was. I went through one yesterday. So I really respect you.
Thank you.
If you ever need anything, let me know.
Colin Hodgson, always there, always seemingly doing the right thing.
Well, and he would know how hard it was.
Yeah,
I mean, he lost in these Olympic trials. He was with Mike McEwen, and they came in as one of the favorites. So in his process of moving on, helping others, it seems to be something Colin always
Good point,
does.
Paul. That's beautiful.
All right, this is our In the House.
This is exciting
section. Yeah, and we always look for a fan and a great fan. And I can't think of a better one. We used to call her the Hat Lady. Franz Isabel has probably been to more championships than any other curling fan on the planet.
Wow.
And she's always got her camera with her.
Yeah.
And she would always send pictures to the curlers. So literally every woman who's played in the Scotties knows her, and a lot of the Briar teams. She's been to World Championships, she's been to an Olympics. She's been to more things than you and I combined.
And she's with us.
She's in the house.
She's in the house, and it is so wonderful to see you. And of course, you have that camera around your neck. What's it like to be at another curling bonspiel? Because I'm sure, just like all of us, you were missing it.
Well, I think that just to be able to be back as a fan, I've missed it. Last year, no Scotties, no Briar, mostly no Scotties, but I'm really happy that the trials are happening and that we actually have fans in the stands.
How quickly did you book your ticket to the Olympic trials when you knew travel was something you could do again, and there would be fans in the stands? I saw you on that opening day here.
We get advance booking because we're big fans, so we get our email before everybody else, and so we book our tickets before everybody
Really?
else. Yeah.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Well, when you
we should
snap
get
as
on
many
that
photos as Franz has, I think you should get a free ticket to every event.
Okay, and if you noticed some flashlights, it wasn't the paparazzi, it was Franz taking pictures of you and I. But how many photos have you taken? When did this begin?
1986. I went to both the men's and the women's worlds. The women's were in Kelowna, the men's were in Toronto, and that's where it started. And then 87 was my first Scotties.
Wow.
And I went 21 in a row. Then I missed one, and then I missed one last year. So, but
sounds like my record.
Look at this color.
Yeah, here's a picture you took. I think this is in Winnipeg, and you've got a nice picture. I asked Kim Kelly because I know you. The thing about Franz, she would print the photos up and mail them to you after. That was our runner-up. That was a silver medal, which is why we look sad on the podium. But Kim looks happy with Maddie and Brett there. What was it about wanting to take the pictures and being part of the action? Because you got to know everybody through the years.
I've gotten a whole lot more from curling than I could ever give back. And people say, you give us pictures. But what it's brought to me is amazing. I mean, the number of players that I've met, and now second generation players on the ice, like Kim Dolan's daughter. I watched Kim play. Now I watch Kathy Cunningham, Ross Howard's daughter. There's at least a dozen, maybe more. So that in itself, just knowing people and being part of something big.
Yeah, and you actually are sort of a really ideal person in the relationship between the curlers and the fans, because the curlers always respect the fans and they give time, and everybody gives time for Franz. Did we show your hat room? I'm not sure that we did, but you used to come with these big Stetsons and just collect pins galore.
Oh, there it is.
I still bring it to the Scotties. I still have a new hat every year at the Scotties. I didn't bring one here this year because you got to get the players to sign it, otherwise.
And now you can't get
so
it's useless.
Here at the Olympic trials, you don't do that. But at the Scotties, I still get my hat signed. I have a curling room at home.
I'm going to say your favorite curler is Heidi Hanlon, but it's okay if you say me.
I think you're the greatest curler ever.
Wow.
I'll take that from her.
But I do want to know, Franz, do you have any favorite moments or photos that stand out to you over all of these years? I know that's a tough question.
It's a very tough question, but I'll say 1989 Scotties, when Heather Houston repeated as Team Canada. She was the first
Northern
to repeat
Ontario.
as Team Canada. The year before, she lost the finals. So going back to the Worlds and having a second chance at it. But when she made that last shot, she jumped up in the air. And Heather is, if you look up sportsmanship in the dictionary, her name is beside it.
So well.
And on the way up, she realized that she was celebrating before she shook hands. And she landed standing up like a soldier, saying to her, I'm sure she was just thinking, I shouldn't be celebrating quite yet. And that's a moment for me that defines what curling is about.
Oh, so well
That
said,
is beautiful
Franz.
that is so vivid in your mind all of these years later.
Yeah. And actually, Heather Houston lives on in my memory because she knocked us out of a few Scotties in tiebreakers. And we used to call it the Heather Houston Northern Ontario sneak attack. And you see it with Krista McCarville a lot as well. It's the same town they come from in Thunder Bay. They lie under the radar. They're calm. They're all sportsmen from there. They respect the game. And it's a beautiful thing to see.
For me, that's what makes curling different, is the fact that you make a good shot, the opposition makes a good shot, and you say so. You make a shot that you didn't call, sorry, like we're real Canadians, but that sorry is from every country in the world, right? Sweden will say sorry if they miss or make a shot that they didn't call.
Yeah.
You don't see that in too many sports.
Yeah, you actually don't see Sweden miss too many shots they didn't call. But anyhow, we so appreciate you coming. And I appreciate all those photos you sent me through the years. They were beautiful to have. It was before iPhones, of course, taking all the pictures, selfies. There were no Devin Haru selfies. Can you imagine that world? You're too young.
Unbelievable.
You would have needed Franz to follow you around. What's your is this your favorite camera, or is this a new Nikon that
Oh
you're
no,
using
that's
now?
if I had to go back, I'd go back to Canon.
Okay.
But I have a mortgage to pay, so we'll stick with this one for now.
Well, keep snapping. It's wonderful to see you. Enjoy the rest of the way here in Saskatoon, and it's always great to see you around the arenas.
And we have our coveted Beijing Olympic pins. I'll give it to you after, so don't go
Thank
too
you very
far.
much for having me on. And hey,
pleasure for all your
the
work.
luck, guys. Thanks for doing what you do.
You're so nice. I can't think of a bigger fan. If there's a bigger fan out there from than Franz, who's seen it all.
Right.
Scotties, Briars, Worlds, Olympics. I think you went to one of the Olympics, didn't you? No? Did you go to one of the Olympics too?
I did. I went to the 88 Olympics. I watched Linda win.
I know. That was when it was a Dennis sport. Max Ballerina. I was there. I was there losing. Yeah, it was good.
Thank you, Franz. Great to see you. Unbelievable. That's outstanding.
Yeah.
Great memories, great photos, etched in memory forever.
She just, this whole show started just for the fans. And when people like Franz, you get to meet them through the years, they remind you what you love about the sport over and over and over again. So and we know there's a lot more of Franz out there, but
no doubt
she's the best.
No doubt. Okay, we're winding down. We're heading into the final end, and fresh off the plane from Norway, because of course as the trials were playing out.
I forgot about
We can't forget
I was almost
about
wrapping the
Mr.
show.
Mike Harris,
It's
of course.
so late for him.
Well, no, it's not. No, he's back in Canada.
I'm back.
No, he's back in Canada off the plane. He's
That's
back.
impossible.
In honor of
awesome to
appearance.
see you, Mike.
Yeah. Great to be here.
Our Pyeongchang outfits.
There you go. There you go. Off the flight from Norway back to Canada. Let's talk about Europeans, because it was a Scottish sweep for the first time ever. And did they ever look good, Mike?
Yeah, they played fantastic. I think everyone kind of expected Team Mowat to do well, but Eve Muirhead to me was the big surprise. They had that 9-person rotation going at the start of the season with who knew who was going to end up on the team, and they played amazing. So it was really nice to see. I was talking to David Murdoch. I said, it appears Eve has found something with her new team, and her third, Vicky Wright, just played fantastic. And yeah, they made it look pretty easy actually, but they've got a bit of work to do. They're not in Beijing yet. They have to go to that Olympic qualifying event up, in a couple of weeks in the Netherlands.
Well, as you gathered some intel for the Olympics, when you're looking at the Europeans, what's standing out for you besides just how darn good they all are now?
Well, listen, I don't care who wins Canada. We've got Hasselborg and Tirinzoni. Tirinzoni missed the playoffs, by the way, which was shocking. So you got Hasselborg and Tirinzoni, who you could argue are 1 and 2. And then you've got Mowat and Edin. So it doesn't matter who wins Canada. They're going to have their hands full in Beijing at the end of the day. And then with a few surprises along the way, I thought Kovaleva, even though they lost the semi to Anna Hasselborg, they looked great. There's just a lot of very good teams and a few surprises. Germans won the bronze in the women's, but they're having to go to that Olympic qualifier.
I love that.
Well. So
wow.
So look at the Olympic qualifier. You've got the silver medalists from Pyeongchang, the bronze medals from Pyeongchang, Eve Muirhead, bronze medalist from Sochi. Those are 3 of the teams that are there, plus Germans who won the bronze last week. So that Olympic qualifying event is something you do not want to be a part of. Trust me. So there's you've got 3 spots, and I would say there's 4 or 5 really good teams there, and it's going to be a battle.
Well, and to that point, Mike, Canada was an oops away from having to go and play in that, and that would have been a white knuckling situation, right?
But
the question we've been asking the fans. Good point. The question we've been asking the fans today, Mike, is about the format of the Canadian Olympic curling trials. And we've been hearing a lot of fodder about this because, of course, the men's final in the States had a best of 3. We could have a 4-loss team here
on the women's side.
On the women's side, defeat an undefeated team in a 1-game showdown. The Europeans have a different model. What do you make of the trials? Is there any tweaking needed?
Well, it's the old story. If it's not broken, doesn't need to be fixed, right? But I mean, without us winning a medal in Korea, the Curling Canada may have had a chance to change the date, to change the format, and they chose not to. I don't know whose decision that is at the end of the day, but I think the athletes, there's more rumblings from the athletes now to get the team named earlier, whether that's the end of the season prior or whatever that happens to look like. I think. I didn't really think that the players minded the format so much, but now that they see how much time the other teams have to prepare and get ready, I think there's certainly some rumblings that the players would like it to happen. So I think that will help expedite maybe some of the conversations with Curling Canada. But if they win 2 gold medals or 3 gold medals, then everyone might just say, okay, that worked just fine. But
everything's happy. It was all good. Really good. Super. Tell us about who your picks are now. So let's start with the Battle of the Brad. So
at the start of the week I picked Jacobs, just because I kind of the Marc Kennedy factor. But Goose is pretty undeniable. They've lost 2 games all year, so like they're saying, the right thing to say is we're gonna have a great rep. I mean, that's the good news. And then to me, Tracy Fleury just seems undeniable as well. What is going on there? They just you keep waiting for the shoe to drop, right? And they just keep winning and winning and winning. It's amazing. They're playing so well. They're making it look easy. Everything that I've been watching is just been. I don't see any reason to not pick them to be the winner of this thing in the final. So, whoever does win is gonna have to play really well to beat her. That's what I see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real 4-person team, though, isn't it? And not denying who's behind the bench, too, but just the way they work together and they stay calm and they're supportive. And how can you not stay calm when Tracy is miscalm?
Well, and to your point, Mike, the whole idea about Fleury, I know you're kind of saying the shoe to drop because, of course, this is her first Olympic trials. And, I think that team kind of flies under the radar.
There.
Yeah, no, it's not just that for me. I mean, I've watched them for a long time. Like Selena and Liz, and they are so much more consistent than they ever were in years leading up to this. So something happened over the pandemic, and I just think they're just so impressive now. All 4 players, they're great sweepers, they're great communicators. They're making all the shots. It's not just Tracy. All 4 players have just been really, really impressive, and it's great to see. Hard work pays off, right? And and Tracy, they brought Chelsea into play at the Scotties last year because she was uncomfortable with it. So they got a great 5th, a great resource in Chelsea. Chelsea knows the game really well. Sherry Madaw back there as well. So, they seem to have done all the right things, and they're playing great. So now, you've got 2 awesome teams as well. Yeah, I think they're for real. They won a slam pre COVID. And everyone kind of thought it might have been a one-off and whatnot, but look at what they've done since the season started. They won a slam, lost a final of another, and then just kind of rolled right through the round robin here. You don't do that by accident, Colleen, as you know. I mean, when you're playing the women's caliber of teams that we have, just so good.
Yeah, this is no accident. This has been years in the making. They're an overnight success, years in the making. That's what this has been, and they found the magic. And you know what I want to see? I want to see Sherry Madaw and Wayne Madaw coaching when they.
Well, that would be a sight for sure.
Hasselborg. Yeah.
Well, and I think that'd be fantastic. Yeah, I think that's a great story, but again, they're, like you said, just a wonderful resource, and I know that Wayne leans on Sherry and vice versa. I don't think they share the inner secrets of what's going on with the teams, but there really aren't any, it's not that there are no inner secrets, right? I mean,
it's obvious to all of us what this,
right.
I mean,
you just gotta
we can all watch all the games and get an idea.
Right.
You know what?
Work hard and play well and
hard
all that stuff, right?
That's the secret.
Last question for you, Mike. It's the eve of a Olympic trials final. Yeah. You have experienced this. What are these skips thinking about on the eve of it, and what were you thinking about in Brandon?
Well, I think we've got a couple of different scenarios, right? You've got Jennifer Jones, and you've got, I'm not saying Jennifer Jones, if she happens to win, she's been there before. You've got Brad Jacobs and Brad Goose who have been there before. When I was listening to Marc Kennedy talk a little bit about it, he said, if we don't win, I've been there and I'm not going to be that upset. Right before the 2010 Olympic trials finals between Glenn Howard and Kevin Martin, Richard Hart was playing third, and he texted me, and what he said was, how did we get through that? He was really quite nervous, and I think that the fact that we didn't really know any better was kind of working in our favor. But he also said to me at that time, if I don't happen to win this week, it's okay. I've been before. So I think all 8 of the men, well, not all 8, but both of those teams have so much experience and have won so much. It's not going to, I don't think you're going to be any more nervous than they would be for playing in the Champions Cup, for example. As Brad Jacobs was joking about.
That joke going, yeah.
So I think Tracy and her team might have a little bit more nerves than say Jennifer Jones might, but I just think you have to stick with the process, right? It's it sounds cliche, but when we went into even when we got down to the 10th end of the final, we knew that we hadn't won anything yet until the last rock stops. I think. And I think all the teams are ready. I think that's the biggest thing, and that's the big. They just have to remain confident in their preparation, and then there's no surprises once you get into the how you're going to perform. Of course, you can't really control that. We saw that with Kevin Cooey today, but they're not going to leave anything unturned, and they're all ready to go. So I'm not really worried too much about it, and nor should they be worried. I didn't sleep. I'm not going to say that I slept great because I didn't, but. Because you just really what they want to do is just get it going. I mean, I can't imagine waiting until was it game at 8 p.m. or something, the men's game tomorrow. Like I can't imagine waiting until prime time. That's a long day. That is a long day of waiting. So
no wonder why Marc Kennedy wanted to talk to us. He's
right. Yeah. How am I going to kill a few hours? Right. So I think both teams are kind of itching to get going. I think, and all 5 in this case right now. So. But I'm excited to watch the game tonight, and we're gonna have 3 excellent games to finish the weekend. So, can I just say one other thing too about Scott Mitchell? That's Colin Mitchell's son.
Yeah.
So there's a tie-in for from Nagano. My second from Nagano just jumped in with Team Nova Scotia. So that's exciting. And also Colleen and Lillehammer.
Oh.
You would remember that Mary Fay won the gold medal at the Youth Olympic Games in 2000. I think it was 2016. So there's a Nova Scotia tie everywhere.
Yeah.
In all of this. So
there is a Nova Scotia tie.
Oh boy! Don't encourage it.
Everybody
Mike.
wants
Come
part
on.
of it. Well, we'll save the discussion of how do we make sure these Nova Scotia talents and the Newfoundland Labrador men's teams, etc., find a way in a geographically challenged world to be the next generation totally. When you don't live in Edmonton with the Saville Center or Winnipeg where there's a great training center, how do we make sure the talent that is in the East that I see all the time is amplified? We'll save that for another day.
Look at Brad Gushue. Just do it. Be like Brad.
I know.
Be like Brad. That's good advice.
Just
Be
get
like
all
Brad.
Yeah.
Awesome. Always great to see you, Mike. Glad you're back on Canadian soil, safe and
Happy
sound.
to be home.
And more to
There's
come,
no place like
doubt.
home.
No place like home. Thanks, Mike. Great to see you.
Thanks, guys. Great
no
to
place
see you.
like home.
Bye, Mike.
Bye-bye.
Love Mike.
We got to wrap it up
We're
because
done.
that big-time women's semifinal
we gotta get
happens
going.
shortly. We got to get out to the arena. Did you have another whiteboard?
I did have another whiteboard. Thanks for asking. I took all that time to shorten the women's road. McCarville versus Jones.
It's simple. This is
winner
nice and simple.
Goes on to play Fleury, and then
Olympic
bound. Yeah.
Now, we should let you all know that because the championship game and all the hoopla of Championship Sunday is playing out tomorrow, we're going to be on the air with that curling show at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 local. That's an hour earlier.
Yeah.
So
join us.
So we can talk about what happened in the women's final and get you all set for the Battle of the Brass.
And a fan's in a house tomorrow, so just tweet at us and let us know if you want to join us on the show.
Join the party.
We love ya.
Awesome.
Thanks for being with us tonight. Thanks producer Soph. Talk to you tomorrow.
Enjoy the semifinal.
Whew, it's going to be nerve-wracking, I think.